If this is feeling familiar to you, it's because it is. We are doing the same thing that I had to do a couple weeks ago because one of the heifers that I took home and doctored 2 weeks ago is not getting better. In fact, she looks a lot worse. So I think today I'm gonna try to get her in the trailer. The rest of them look pretty good, but we need to get her in the trailer, get her back home, and I think I'm gonna have to keep her at home for a few days until she gets better, and at which point she'll be able to come back out here. So that means we gotta get this janky corral put back together and cross our fingers, hope we can get her loaded up. There are no guarantees when it comes to loading cattle over at this pasture. As you can see, the loading setup is less than ideal. Seems like I'm always able to get it to work, but you just never come over here confident that you're gonna get the job done with no problems. But I'm actually getting ahead of myself because before we can even stress about whether or not we can get her in the trailer, we first need to get her in this little catch corral, which is probably not gonna be real easy in itself. I've got the four-wheeler with me out here today, and I've not really yet decided if I want to just bring her up by herself or bring the whole group and try to sort her off. I think it's one of those things where you don't really make a plan until you get down there and kind of see what the situation is going to give you. So let's jump on the four-wheeler, head over there, see if we can get her loaded up back home, get her pumped up with some good medicine, and get her healed. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. So the one we're after is this white-faced heifer here. She actually doesn't look as bad today as she did yesterday. I mean, yesterday she couldn't hardly stay on her feet. Every time she went somewhere, she would lay down. You could tell she was in a lot of pain. And I can still see that her eye is really swollen. Even though she does look a little bit better today, I still want to get her in the trailer because we need to get some medicine on that eye and get her healed up. Let's go, turn around, turn around. Let's go. Come on. Come on, dear. Well, they're all stopping at the water trough to get a drink, so we'll sit here for a minute and let them do it, and then we'll keep on moving. It is hot today. Get up, get up. Up. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. We missed a few, but that's all right. I don't think those are ones we needed. There's actually another heifer here that looks pretty bad, so I think we'll just go ahead and grab her while we're at it. So this time I think I'd actually like to try something a little different. It's a little bit risky, but if it works, it's gonna make things a lot easier. And that is to try to sort a few of them out of here that I know I don't need, so that when I'm going to get them in the trailer, I'm only working on the ones that I want. The risk here is that if one of those heifers decides to go and she decides not to stop, then you know, we got to start all over again, but I'm hoping that that won't happen. This seems like a pretty mellow group, and I think the risk is worth the reward. That is exactly what we didn't want. All right, well, that was stupid of me, I guess. It did not work at all, and now we got to get them caught again. Come on. Gosh darn it. There now. Sometimes, and it sounds a little mean, but you just got to run them around a little bit and wear them out. Then they start doing what you want. Where a second person would be really nice to have. Come on guys, get in there. All of you this time. Okay, reset. So what I was hoping is that as I sorted some off, they would kind of just stay right here and not really be a factor. But what did happen, and I was afraid this could happen, is when the ones that you let out start going off to be by themselves, the ones that you have in here see them going, and then it just makes them want to get out that much more. So we're just gonna have to take our time, work through them, and get the ones that we want into the trailer, and at that point we can let the others out. This is probably gonna take a while, but it's what we got to do. That's the one we came for. Just happened to be in there, so I grabbed her. I know that film job's not gonna be great. There's maybe one or two more that I'd like to get, so we'll try. But if we fail, we got the one we came for. These are just paper thin farm store panels in the corner there, so I can't exactly just dive bomb on in there and get the one that I want, because if I put too much pressure on them, they'll probably go over or through them. She's deep in the corner there. Not in an ideal spot. Go by. I don't want you or you or you. Done by now. Go out. It looks like there are 3 in the trailer that I don't want, and then the 2 that I do want are standing right here at the door. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get those 3 out and not lose these 2. You just need to trade spaces, that's it. And we'll be done. Follow him, and then these guys will jump out. Come on, dear. Just put a leg in there. You've been in there before. Put your foot in there. There you go. that pretty much worked, actually. I'm surprised, but I do have one in there that I don't need. He's definitely got a squinty eye, and I don't know if he's one I already doctored and he's coming out of it, or if he is actually starting to get pink eye. And I just feel like the risk is too great to get him out. It's very likely that one of those others just follows with him, and even if I'm fast and try as hard as I can to close the gate, there's a good chance that they could just push right through it and we could lose them. So I think I would be smarter to just take all these guys home, doctor all of them, keep them all in for a few days and make sure that they're going the right way with things, and then bring them back out. In other words, in this case, the risk is not worth the reward. So now I got to try to open this divider gate, get these three in the front with the black white face heifer so that I can close the divider gate and get the four-wheeler in the back, because I do not plan on coming back out here today, and I don't want to leave my four-wheeler here because I need it. So the divider gate opens by just pushing this little lever here, unless someone's pushing on the gate, which they are. Oh, we almost had it. Move it up. It's a little tight, but they do fit. We're not going far. Oh, and I almost forgot. Before we go, we better make sure that the yearlings we turned out went back into that back pasture and didn't get comfortable in here somewhere. I saw them heading that way, so I'm guessing they did, but we're just gonna verify before we get all the gates closed and head on our way. I guess they did not go back to where they belong. Come on, kids. Come on, come on. Bring your friends back in a few days. It's always a little nerve-wracking opening up that rear gate. You got to make sure that crowd gate's shut. This is the steer that I didn't necessarily want to bring home, and you can see this eye is a little bit weepy, and he was squinting it when he was in the trailer. He's not really squinting it so much now, and maybe honestly a little bit on his other side as well. So we'll give him spray on both eyes, and then I'll give him some of the powder in the eye that's a little bit worse. And I'm not sure, I don't think this guy needs an eye patch, so we're gonna leave that off. That's why we have it. I know. It ain't fun, is it? Boy, that's like the perfect shot there. You need to move a little. Over to your other side. All right, buddy. Oh, that's it, I think. I stand corrected. This is the steer that I thought I didn't need. His right eye's got a little abrasion on it that I can see, and he is weeping just a little bit. So again, this is kind of how it looks when it's healing, and it's kind of how it looks when it's just ramping up. So we'll treat it as if it's ramping up just to be on the safe side. This is the eye that I feel like can potentially have issues. I'm just gonna go ahead and give them a squirt on the other side as well, because oftentimes they have it on one side, that it's not uncommon for it to show up on the other side. This heifer's got a little bit more of a serious case, so we will give her the whole shebang here. We'll do the spray, the powder, I'll give her a shot and an eye patch. You are not going to be cooperative, are you? She's right about 840 pounds, and according to this chart, that means that she needs about 38 cc's. Here. So we're giving these shots subcutaneously, which means they're just going under the skin and not actually into the muscle. Alright, there's one. Now, one of the hardest things to do is get the glue on these patches without making a total mess. Oh, would you stop? Find your friends. And this heifer is the one that we set out to catch today. She's the reason behind all of the stuff we're doing, and she's going to get the exact same treatment as the one that was in right before her. All right, your friends are back over there. For several reasons, I'm going to keep these four in the bullpen for the next few days before I decide to take them back to the summer pasture. And basically, I'm just going to wait a few days and see if they're getting better, if they're getting worse, what's going on before I take them back, so that if I decide I want to doctor them again, they're already right here and easy to catch. I think the bullpen is a good place to keep them because they've got shade, food, and water, and they will be isolated from the other cows with a fairly decent sized buffer zone. Because they are coming back here from a new place, and they're coming back here because they're sick, it just seems like a bad idea to kick them out with this herd. In the interest of biosecurity, this feels like the way to go. Well, they got plenty of food, plenty of water, and plenty of shade in here. And the shade is of greater importance than it normally is when they've got pink eye, because you'll notice when they're out in the field and they have pink eye, they're always hunting for shade. They're always trying to get out of the sun. And that's part of the reason why we put those patches on there, is because it keeps the sun off of that eye so they're not uncomfortable. I hope that they start fooling around with this back rubber and figuring out what this is all about, because when they go back up to the summer pasture, this thing's gonna go with them. I've been through some bad pink eye years, but I gotta tell you, I think this is the worst year on record. On my record anyway. Pink eye is a bacterial infection that usually affects calves far greater than any other age class of cattle, but man, this year it's like across the board. Yearlings, adult cows, calves, you name it, everybody's getting it this year. I'll keep you updated on these 4 and the rest of the herd, and we'll keep fighting this till we get it knocked out. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.